Hey, James at Eagle Ballistics and Barber Creek Long Range Shooting School. I want to kind of talk about a subject that I get a lot of phone calls or emails on from people that use the EB app. They'll sometimes call me up or send me an email and say, hey, I'm at a competition and you guys zeroed my gun last week and everything was doing good. And today I'm a 10th mil off or a quarter minute off at 800 yards. And the first thing I tell them is go recheck your zero's off. So, and I constantly tell folks this, and they're like, well, I don't think the zero's off because I just did it before I came here. And when you zero your gun at X environment, X crosswinds for aerodynamic jump, and even parallax, and you get to a new location, you need to recheck your zero if possible, all right? So this is how I do it. So first and foremost, make sure that your crosshairs are crystal clear. I'm going to look up at the sky, grab the rear ocular. The crosshairs are very sharp and very clear now. I'm then going to go to the 100 yards. So I'm going to do a 100-yard zero. And I'm going to focus it nice and clear and then check parallax. Okay, parallax is perfect. I just shook my head. There's no movement. At that point, I'm going to go ahead and grab the ammunition. Where's it at? Make sure you're using a similar lot number than you were before. This is not it. And let's try this one. Now, while I'm zeroing my gun, I will run a chronograph and first of all, make sure there's no velocity spikes on every shot. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm gathering enough data to get true velocity when we're doing this. So if you guys stand by, I'm going to go grab the chronograph. Okay, I got the Garmin, and this is a 140 grain Hornady ELD match. And again, I'm going to let this run during this entire exercise. This gun was cleaned, and I have got about 8 shots through it, and I've got it fouled. When I say clean, barely cleaned, you guys know I don't clean guns very well. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that I don't want to ever get my velocities or my zero with a clean gun because it'll be different. All right. Now this is a different lot number than I zeroed it with. I just want to make sure that I've got enough of that lot number. All right, so I'm going to 100 yards. We're going to make sure everything is as sturdy as possible. Even at 100 yards, I'm going to look at my level between every shot. All right, so I got a center black dot. Level looks good. I'm about that far off the black dot at 1 o'clock. And camera's recording. Let's do the next one. When I do a zero, I like to be at least 5 shots minimum. Some guys do 10, some guys do 20, some guys do 3. 3 is not a good representation of your zero and your velocity. All right, next shot. About a ½ inch below. And let's see if the ammo's part of that. Our original shot, our very first shot was 26.95 and 26.97, so no. So it just could be the gun doesn't really like this ammo, all right, or this lot number. But that's not the normal group I see with these school guns. Okay, that's touching the first shot. What I'm trying to do is find a mean in the group. So I got basically 3 shots in the same hole, 1 drop. Parallax is good. By the way, all of those shots so far have been really good. I haven't pulled anything or jerked anything. Level's perfect. Level's good. Okay. I mean, we're zeroed. I'm gonna keep going though. So I've got about 4 or 5 shots all within less than a ½ a minute. I got 1 down. The average velocity, I really need glasses, is 2713.4. So in the gun profile, we're going to put in 2714.4, hit set, and then I'm going to go to the 0 scope angle lock, and I'm going to unlock it, hit OK, and then relock it. Remember, if you put new velocities in Eagle Ballistics, redo the scope angle because it changed. And the other thing is, everything affects your zero. Like I said, parallax, your level, left and right, the environmentals, crosswinds. So let me see what the wind's doing right now. So what we have here is a headwind, and it's running about 2 miles an hour. So I would go to the heads up display. I would put 100 yards. I'm gonna aim it at the angle because I am shooting down at an angle a little bit. And there we go, we're at a -6 degree angle. And I'm gonna say that the wind is coming from 11 o'clock, which it is, at about 2 miles an hour. And I am going to unlock that and then relock it again, okay? Because we always want to include any aerodynamic jump crosswinds. Now with an 11 o'clock wind, you're not gonna have an aerodynamic jump crosswind. But if you had a 5 or 6 mile an hour wind blowing from 3 or 9 o'clock, and you're shooting at 100 yards, it can push you down a 1/10 mil or a 1/4 minute, or vice versa, lift you with AD. So let me walk through the process one more time. You're going to adjust the gear, the scope, make sure the crosshairs are crystal clear, look at the sky, don't look at an object. You are then going to parallax on the target, do a head shake, make sure there's no movement. And on every shot, look at the level for left and right cant. You're gonna make sure whatever app you're using or ballistic solver has a temperature, pressure, and any angle that you're shooting at and crosswinds. You're gonna run a chronograph to make sure you're getting velocities at the same time. If I did not have a perfect zero and I can't get it perfect, you're gonna go inside Eagle Ballistics. And I know I didn't record this stuff, but I'll show you. I'm gonna go in Eagle Ballistics again, and I can push on the ruler next to zero height, and I can raise or lower it to say if I'm shooting high or low. If you turn the phone upside down, it goes negative. And then if I got a left and right offset, I will push here. I can type it in or use the ruler again, turn it sideways, and I can measure the difference between what I was aiming at and where my bullet hit, or my center of my group hit. And if I go the other way, it does the opposite. So Eagle Ballistics has a lot of rulers built into it. You lay this right against the target, like I said, push the ruler. You know what you're aiming at and raise it up to where the center of your group is. And that will take care of that, so you don't have to bring a ruler down and measure it. So again, all we did is we came into the app, we typed in the actual velocity, 2714.4, hit set, scrolled up, unlocked the zero angle lock, and then relocked it because we put a new velocity in. I have a perfect zero, so I'm gonna leave zero height alone, leave zero offset alone. I can now go to my heads up display, and I can go ahead and true the BC, all right? So let's just go out to say 1,000 yards, 1,002, set. I'm gonna grab the compass direction to that 1,000 yards. All right, hit set, and it's telling me to dial 30.9. So we'll go to our turret and dial 30 and 0.9, so basically 31 minutes. Raise up the bipod 3 clicks so I don't have undue pressure down in the bag. Stand by, I'm gonna get the long range camera set up at 1,000. All right, here we go. Going out to 1,000 yards. I am going to focus nice and clear and check parallax. Perfect. I'm at 31 minutes, or 30.94. We are going to push left 1 minute. About that high, perfect wind. I'm shooting at that clay pigeon under target 2. Velocity spiked up to 2736. Oh, look, I got some deer coming in front of me, so. All right, they're way in front. All right, we're gonna push left 1 minute for spin drift and Coriolis. Let me change that wind. I'm gonna put 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna put zero wind. It still wants me to push left for spin and Coriolis 1 minute. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm this high, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down a full minute to 30 minutes. And I'm at 27.54, by the way. Big difference from our last velocity. All right. Make sure I didn't grab the wrong ammo. Okay, I'm still high. So I did not grab the wrong ammunition, but this velocity just went to 27.25. So I got to go in and fix that. So I'm going to go back in Eagle Ballistics. We're going to change it. The velocity is now 27.25. Hit set, unlock, relock, set. Now it says we should be at 30 and a half, and I'm at 30. Come down a little bit more, all right? I hate chasing velocity. Try it again. Pushing left one. Okay, just to the right of it, elevation looks good. We'll try another shot, 27.43. Good elevation again. Wind picked up a little bit. Get back on there. I'm about 2 inches to the right. I'm going to push left 2 minutes, so we'll increase the wind. It's about a 3-mile-an-hour wind now. We'll push left 2. Okay, just underneath it. So I think we got the right data. So we'll say the wind speed's 2 miles an hour, and we got an average velocity of 27.29. Let's go fix that. And that's out of 12 shots. So we're getting close to what we want as far as gathering our velocity. 27, 29.8, set, turn off the zero scope angle lock, turn it back on again. And now it says we should be at 30.44, and we're actually at 29.25. So we're gonna go into our app and we're gonna readjust to BC. So we're gonna hit ballistic coefficient truing. It says we're at 29.4, hit set. It says our BC is 0.3006. I'm sorry, 0.3066 at Mach 1.29. Hit set, and our ballistics are perfect. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna shoot it and try to hit the clay and see where we're at. Here we go. So I got the right wind, I got the right angle, we got the right compass direction, azimuth. We are gonna push left 2 minutes. Broke the clay perfectly in half. Data's correct. Now we're gonna check our BC at close range, so stand by. Okay, so we shot it. We trued our BCs at 1,000. I'm gonna quickly check it at close range, 402 yards. Angle and inclination, 6 minutes, 6.1. Here we go. It says to push left 3/4 minute. Checking level. Bullseye. It's nice watching the trace through your scope. Okay, pushing left 3/4 minute. Same bullet hole. Now, normally I would do more than that, but again, for time's sake, this video is long enough. I would shoot about 3, 5, 4, 6 shots, whatever, just to make sure, but we're waterline, everything's perfect. Anyway, we were able to do exactly what we wanted to do. We zeroed the gun, we checked it at 1,000 for truing BCs, we shot it up close. You always want to check far and near to make sure your BC is accurate. We know what the velocity is, we ran a chronograph. Be careful on factory ammunition. I mentioned that earlier. You can get big spikes of velocity, and it can make you think you did something wrong when you didn't. So I'm going to reiterate one more time what we did. First thing we did on the gun is we looked up at the sky, got the crosshair as clear as possible. That's error. And then we focused and parallaxed at the 100 yards. And we made sure that when we shake our head, there's no movement between the crosshairs and the target. I looked at the level on every shot to make sure that I wasn't stringing left and right. I went in the Eagle Ballistics app. It grabbed automatically the temperature, pressure, humidity, and everything, all environmentals. I aimed it at the target for compass direction and azimuth. That didn't make sense. Compass direction and angle, you meant what I knew. And then I shot a minimum 5-shot group and trying to find the center of that group. If I was high a little bit and I couldn't get it perfect, I would have told the solver my zero height is high or low and my zero offset. In this case, we didn't have to. At that point, I put in the real velocity from the chronograph, and then I turned scope angle lock on. So that way it remembers the angle the scope and the barrel intersect, all right? At that point, I then ran it out to 1,000 because I want to be about 15% in front of transonic. And I shot and I was trying to hit the clay pigeon, and I brought the dial ups down until I was hitting a clay pigeon. I went in the solver and said, okay, it really took me this many minutes. And the solver said, in that case, your BC has to be this. So it found my ballistic coefficient. I then checked it at close range. You want to check it far and near. And then that way you're making sure your BC's tracking the whole way, okay? Any questions on that, just leave it in the comments, or you can always email me at eagleballistics@gmail.com. All right, hopefully this makes sense. Trying to get you a perfect zero for season. Thanks for watching and have a great day.